1914, an 8-year-old boy was playing in a village in Japan when he saw a machine moving on 4 wheels. It was a Ford Model T, and the sight amazed him. That was the day the child first fell in love with the vehicles and mechanical parts. His name was Soichiro Honda, and who could have known that one day his name would appear on everything from small bikes to big cars around the whole world. Viewers, Soichiro Honda was born in 1906 in a small village near Mount Fuji, Japan. His father was a blacksmith and also repaired bicycles part-time. Honda's 5 siblings had already died due to various illnesses, so his parents had high hopes for him. But Honda had no real interest in school. Instead, he loved helping his father repairing bicycles. When he turned 16, he saw a job advertisement in a newspaper. A Tokyo automobile service station called Art Shokai needed technicians. Honda wrote a letter applying for the job, and luckily he received a positive reply. That was when he left home and school and traveled to Tokyo, hoping to earn a living. His dreams seemed to break the moment he arrived. The owner of company made him do cleaning work and even assigned him babysitting. Honda had no choice. On one side, he had left his parents and village behind. On the other side, he was being used for odd jobs. He felt too ashamed to go back because he couldn't face his parents. That's why for many months he was forced to keep doing those tasks. After some months, the owner of Art Shokai finally started giving Honda real workshop work too. Honda was genuinely interested, so he learned quickly. Within months, he had gained strong knowledge of different vehicles and their parts. During this period, Art Shokai built 2 sports cars. The first was the Art Demi and the second was Curtis. Both were built using used engines and they won first place in the 1924 Japanese Motor Car Championship. Honda was still mainly a mechanic, but in that race he sat with the driver as an engineer. After that event, Soichiro Honda made motorsports his religion. For the next several years, he continued working at Art Shokai and kept building experience. In 1928, at the age of 22, the owner decided to open another branch in Hamamatsu City and sent Honda there to run it. Honda started that new branch with just 1 worker, and within only 2 years he grew it to 30 workers. By then, he had become both a brilliant mechanic and a racing driver. Using his skills, he designed a sports car for his owner. The car could reach 120 km per hour, breaking previous records, and that record remained Japan's highest for the next 20 years. Honda's value in the owner's eyes increased even more. Honda wanted to open his own workshop, but fate had other plans. In 1936, he suffered a horrific racing accident. He survived, but his left arm was fractured. His shoulder was dislocated and his face had many injuries. He felt like his life was over. He couldn't work as a mechanic and he couldn't race either. After many months, when he recovered, he requested the Art Shokai owner to let him move away from repair work. He suggested a new idea, starting a separate company to manufacture spare parts. But Art Shokai's stakeholders rejected the idea immediately. They were already making profits and didn't want to take a new risk. So, Honda decided he would open a parts manufacturing company on his own. In 1936, at the age of 30, he opened Tokai Seiki Heavy Industry with a friend and made his friend Sachio Kato the president. The company existed, but Honda had no investment to run it. He worked for Art Shukai during the day, and at night he tried to make engine pistons for his new company. For months he lived this routine without success, and constant hard shifts made him physically weak. Failure after failure blocked his path. Then he decided to gain expertise in metallurgy and enrolled in a university. In 1939, after 3 years of continuous effort, he finally succeeded in making a piston. He left his job at Art Shukai and focused full-time on piston manufacturing. But he didn't realize his pistons still had flaws. When he offered them to Toyota, Toyota rejected 47 out of 50 designs. The news hit Honda like lightning because now he had no way back. He began traveling across Japan to understand the requirements of different companies. He visited factories, met car manufacturers, and spent years understanding the market. Then Honda made pistons again. This time they passed quality control standards across companies. Orders started pouring in, and once again Honda could see his dreams coming true. To fulfill the orders, his company hired 2,000 workers, but this happiness did not last long. Japan entered World War II, and the ministry took control of several Japanese companies. One of them was Honda's. Honda was downgraded to senior managing director in his own company. Things got worse when workers were pulled into military service. The next years were extremely difficult. Then a disaster struck. During an air raid, a missile hit Honda's factory directly. The country's situation kept getting worse. Japan looked like it was losing the war. Then nuclear attacks occurred, and Japan was completely broken. After Japan surrendered to the Americans, the war ended. But Honda had lost everything. He sold his remaining assets to Toyota for 4,50,000 yen and once again became jobless. And it wasn't just Honda. Japan as a whole was passing through a terrible crisis. The economy was collapsing, food and water were scarce, and inflation had crushed everyone. Public transport was extremely difficult because petrol had become rare. During this time, Honda found a small engine used by the Japanese Imperial Army for wireless radios. Out of habit, an idea came to him: why not attach that engine to a bicycle to solve the transport problem? It would make travel easier and cheaper, since people were already suffering from inflation. When they saw this engine attached to a bicycle, they loved the idea. Honda found a few used engines, but demand became so high that he designed his own new engine. For the first time in history, people saw the Honda logo on a machine. Honda didn't have enough money to produce bicycles at a mass level, so he wrote an open letter to 18,000 shopkeepers. People trusted him so much that 3,000 shopkeepers replied positively and paid in advance. Over the next 3 years, Honda developed a motorcycle that matched market needs. It was launched at the Super Cup, and it immediately created a sensation. The model became so successful that in 1958 it even surpassed the sales of Triumph and Harley Davidson in America. Because Honda loved racing, he now decided to build sports bikes. He attended different bike races and noted down the special features of winning bikes. In that era, such racing competitions were not just races, they were marketing tools for manufacturing companies. Within a few years, Honda launched its first sports bike, which won first place in a 1962 international racing competition. That race made Honda famous worldwide. By 1960, Honda had become the world's largest motorcycle manufacturing company, and by 1968 it had sold 10 million units after living 62 years of his life. Soichiro Honda had achieved success, but the dream he had carried since childhood was still complete. Honda wanted to enter car manufacturing too. Many people tried to stop him, but he didn't listen. In Japan, companies like Toyota and Nissan were already well established, and carving out space in the market was extremely difficult. Honda launched its first pickup truck, the T360, which failed. Then it launched the S500 sports car, but only 1300 units were booked. After years of hard work and dozens of rejected designs, Honda finally launched the Honda Civic in 1972. The same car whose new models are still famous worldwide today. By 1980, Honda Motors was Japan's third largest manufacturing company, and within only 10 years, it became the world's third largest. Today, the name Honda can be found on cars, motorcycles, boat engines, plane engines, and dozens of power tools. Soichiro Honda retired from the company in 1973. The year after the Honda Civic was launched on August 5, 1991, his life's journey came to an end for